Ladies and gentlemen, you're tuned into an all-new episode of Rocket Fuel, the New York Jets podcast. I am your host, Alfred Jr. Just a friendly reminder that Rocket Fuel is a proud member of the Grid Network. Of course, the Grid, if you don't know, dare to be different. The Grid, a podcast network covering sports of all types, whether it's baseball, football, or general sports talk. A great network of podcasts. Here on this podcast, we talk about everything New York Jets. We're going to get into the New York Jets. And this is our first video edition of Rocket Fuel. I'm very excited to bring you Rocket Fuel in video form. If you go through the YouTube channel, everything else has been in audio up until this point, or video narrated by myself. Glad to put my face to the podcast. Now it's the NFL offseason here. We just got to address the elephant in the room now that the podcast is back. For those of you who follow me on Instagram at rocketfuel_NYJ, you've seen I've been talking about Aaron Rodgers. The whole football world has been talking about Aaron Rodgers. Of course, Aaron Rodgers went on the Pat McAfee show, told Pat McAfee that in 2023, he intends to play for the New York Jets. Okay, and everybody celebrated. All the Jets fans celebrated. All the Jets fans were like, woohoo, we got a quarterback. We don't have to root for Zach Wilson anymore. Oh, Aaron Rodgers, the savior. There's just one problem, folks. Now, while yes, the Jets did go out and sign Alan Lazard, we traded Elijah Moore, we still have Garrett Wilson, we went and got Mecole Hardman, who just won a Super Bowl with the Kansas City Chiefs, but there's still one problem. Aaron Rodgers is still a Green Bay Packer. That's the problem. Now, Aaron Rodgers can tell you all he wants. I want to be a Jet. I intend to play for the Jets. That's all fine and dandy. However, this situation is not in our control. It's not in Aaron Rodgers' control. The Green Bay Packers have the final say in this whole conundrum. The Green Bay Packers have all the leverage. Now, yes, there are rumors that OBJ and the Jets have mutual interest. Yes, that's very true. Yes, there have been rumors floating around that Aaron Rodgers sent the Jets a to-do list of players to acquire. And the Jets have been trying to appease him. Shout out to Joe Douglas, making moves. Joe Douglas, by the way, very good GM. Joe Douglas drafted Breece Hall, Sauce Gardner, and Garrett Wilson. That man clearly has an eye for the future, minus Zach Wilson. Well, he didn't draft Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson was the previous regime, but, that's a different story for a different day because Joe Douglas was the one who gave Coach Saleh the orders to keep playing Zach Wilson despite his poor play. But nonetheless, great job, Joe Douglas. But my big issue, again, Aaron Rodgers is still a Green Bay Packer. Now, the Packers and Aaron Rodgers have a very tumultuous relationship. Aaron Rodgers clearly wants out. He's threatened that if he doesn't get traded to the Jets, that he's going to retire. Okay. But the Packers could say, you know what? We have Jordan Love. NFL draft is coming up. We could go get ourselves a quarterback and let the rookie and Jordan Love battle it out. Aaron Rodgers, you want to go host Jeopardy? You want to do this? You want to do that? You want to write a book? You want to go fishing in the offseason for the rest of your life? Fine. Go ahead and retire. And they could go ahead and swerve us. Or they could make some outlandish trade demand. We already lost Mike White. So if we don't get Aaron Rodgers, who knows? We can't go get Lamar Jackson because Joe Douglas and the Jets already said negotiating with the Ravens for Lamar is negotiating in bad faith because they're putting all their eggs in one basket in Aaron Rodgers. And this whole Aaron Rodgers hoopla pretty much prevents us from being a serious player in the market for any other QB that's out there. the Packers could make some outlandish trade demand, and they could say, we want Garrett Wilson, we want Breece Hall, we want Sauce. The Jets we're not in a position to deem anybody on our roster untouchable, really. We're the ones who need Aaron Rodgers more than the Packers want to send him to us. That's just a cold hard fact, folks. We have the talent, but you're not going to get a multiple-time MVP and a Super Bowl champion quarterback who still has some gas left in the tank for absolutely nothing. It's impossible. Especially when that guy is the face of their franchise, the cornerstone of their franchise. Jets fans, I'm telling you like this, don't let the Packers hold your hopes hostage. Because that's what they're doing. You know how many Jets fans I've encountered and run into on the street, and all they can talk about is, yeah, we're going to have a great 2023. Aaron Rodgers is going to come save us. Rodgers ain't even on the roster yet. This whole thing could break down. NFL draft is a couple of weeks away. But that doesn't mean anything. This whole thing could break down. There's no guarantee here. We're all at the mercy of the Green Bay Packers, the Jets organization, the Jets fans, even Aaron Rodgers himself. But Aaron Rodgers don't really care. He just wants to get out of Green Bay and come to New York. But he's pretty okay retiring if he can't get what he wants. And then who's the real ultimate loser? It's us. I would love for somebody in the comments to tell me I'm wrong. And believe you me, the Jets have not made the postseason since what? 2010? 12 consecutive years, no playoffs? I'm tired of the mediocrity. Geno Smith got to the playoffs before we did, and we let him go. Comeback player of the year. They wrote him off, but he didn't write back. Shout out to that man. Mike White's in Miami. We ran him out of town. He should have been the starter way over Zach Willie. And then you got Zach Wilson going to the press. Oh, whatever veteran quarterback that they bring in here, I'm going to make his life hell. Yeah, okay. I believe it when I see it. Zach Wilson's had so many chances, and we did his 2022 season recap. It's on the YouTube. You can scroll through the list of videos on the page and see it. He had a horrid season. The entire franchise right now, the destiny of this franchise's immediate future is in the hands of the Green Bay Packers. They're holding us hostage. And like I said, Jets fans, don't let the Packers hold your hopes hostage. Because now if we don't get, and I'm not being negative at all or pessimist. This is a real life possibility here that we may not get Aaron Rodgers. Because again, the Packers, they have all the leverage in this. They have the player we want. They have the player that wants to come here. But they are in no way, shape, or form obligated to trade that man. And then what's taking so long? Aaron Rodgers, more than 2 weeks ago, said that he intends to play for the Jets. What's held up a deal? I will not believe it until I see it. Absolutely not. I will not believe it until I see it. I got to see it in order to believe it. Because too much time has gone by. And Aaron Rodgers is still a Packer. You know what this is equivalent of? When you were a kid and your mom promised you the new bicycle. You went to the store. Your mom goes to the store for something else. Had to fix my ring light. But your mom takes you to the store with her. Of course, you're a kid, so you don't have a choice but to go. And you see the new bicycle. Your current bicycle is a beat down piece of crap. You've had it for maybe 3 years. Wheels maybe a little rusty. And you point the bike out to your mom. And you say, Mom, I want that bike. I like it. I need that bike. Mom says, okay. Promises you that she'll get you the bike. But you guys leave the store without the bike. And then it's the next day. You ask about the bike. And the day after, you ask about the bike again. Then days turn into weeks. Weeks turns into a month. And then you just give up because a month goes into a month and a half, 2 months, and then you still don't have the bike. So you lose all hope and go back to the crap bike that you had before. That's what this situation might turn into. I'm very fearful of. NFL drafts coming up. Like I said, if I am Joe Douglas, if I'm Robert Saleh, if I'm the Jets front office, I don't want to wait till the day of the draft or the day of the first round to get a deal for Rodgers. I would want Rodgers before the draft. You know why? Here's my take on that. I want Rodgers before the draft so that I know what I'm doing. If the draft comes and goes and the Jets don't have a quarterback, because we have the incumbent Zach Wilson, which is not saying much. But if the draft comes and Aaron Rodgers is not on the Jets roster, I need to know what I'm doing so I could draft a quarterback because I need to plan for the future. And this shakes up everything. And what a blow that would be. The suits in Green Bay and the suite in Lambeau probably laughing at us in East Rutherford. Like, these guys went and they signed all these wide receivers. And there's Zach Wilson. There's no Aaron Rodgers. Then they can say they fleeced us, they played us, they got in our heads. But if I'm the Jets, I want the Rodgers deal done before the draft. That way, I don't have to waste a draft pick on a quarterback. And I don't care what Green Bay. If Green Bay just wants picks, give them every pick that we got in the draft coming up. We have pick number 13. I personally want Quentin Johnston from TCU. But I could live without Quentin Johnston from TCU if I'm getting Aaron Rodgers back for that pick. Quentin Johnston, in my opinion, is the best wide receiver in the draft. Most explosive wide receiver in the draft. But I'm okay not getting Quentin Johnston if I can get Aaron Rodgers in exchange for the pick I would use to get Quentin Johnston. But like I said, and they're not doing it to me because, again, I'm the one telling you this information, or at least giving you my viewpoint of things. But Jets fans, do not let the Packers hold your hopes hostage. Because immediately across the Jets timeline, Bleacher Report was posting a photo of Aaron Rodgers superimposed in a Jets uniform with Photoshop. Jets fans all over the place rejoicing. Aaron Rodgers is in town. You go on NFL.com, on the official Jets website, on the roster page, Aaron Rodgers ain't there. He's on the Packers website. He ain't on the Jets. And again, the suits in Green Bay probably laughing at us. they got McCall Hardman and they traded Elijah Moore. And they got Alan Lazard. But they're not getting Rodgers because we're going to swerve him. Is my viewpoint extreme? Maybe it is. Maybe it is. But we've seen in sports before, and not even in just the NFL, but in other sports, terms and trades have been agreed upon in principle, and one thing or another stops it from happening. For you basketball fans, you remember when Chris Paul was supposed to go from the Hornets to the Lakers, and the league office in the NBA vetoed the trade? Commissioner's office vetoed that trade? And that's the league doing that. That's not even one one franchise over another. Then you get talks, trade talks in all sports break down all the time. Now my other question is, well, what do the Jets do if they don't get Aaron Rodgers? I think they burnt the bridge on the Lamar Jackson train because they said negotiating with Lamar is in bad faith. Is that Lamar Jackson Avenue still going to be open? We met with David Carr, and because we had all this Aaron Rodgers hope. Now, granted, I'd rather have Aaron Rodgers than Derek Carr, but you let Derek Carr slip to the Saints, all because the Jets put their eggs in one basket. Until the trade happens, I'm not. Aaron Rodgers is not here in my mind. Not until this trade happens. And I don't mean this disrespectfully, but if you are a Jets fan and you're acting as if Aaron Rodgers is a sure thing to come here, you're delusional. That's right, I said it. Delusional. I personally do not know what the Jets do if they don't get Aaron Rodgers because the free agent pool of quarterbacks is not strong right now. Again, Derek Carr went to the Saints. Jimmy Garoppolo went to Vegas. Even Tyler Heineke. Shout out to my guy Sports PSP, who runs the Commanders Demand podcast, a podcast about the Washington Commanders here on the Grid Network. Shout out to him. Even Taylor Heineke, who was a Washington Commander, even he got scooped off the free agent market. He's an Atlanta Falcon. What other options do we have? I don't want Carson Wentz on this team. I definitely do not. Matt Ryan is not the same Matt Ryan that led the Falcons to the Super Bowl in the 2016 NFL season. I I definitely don't want him after that dumpster fire of a season he had in Indianapolis. Options are thin. Teddy Bridgewater? I don't think he has what it takes to be a starter in this league anymore, at least not for a good team. Joe Flacco's a free agent. I can't see us re-signing him. He spent 3 years here, played a mentor role, but he's not a every game starting quarterback anymore. Granted, he did win a Super Bowl like Rodgers, but still. It's slim pickings. It is slim pickings at the quarterback position for notable quarterbacks in this league. And like I said, I feel like we burnt the bridge on the Lamar Jackson trade. Since we've already come out and said it's bad faith to negotiate. Joe Douglas, you're doing a hell of a job. Like I said, you drafted a lot. Not Elijah Moore, that malcontent. You drafted in one draft Brees Hall, Garrett Wilson, and Sauce Gardner. First time in NFL history, both rookies of the year on the same team. That's excellent. I feel excited about our future. Not the immediate future, but the further future. Yeah. You went and got Chuck Clark, the safety from the Ravens, for basically nothing. Great move. You re-signed some key guys, Quincy Williams. I like the Williams boys together in the same defense. Sad you let Sheldon Rankins walk, but it happens. It's sports. But so far we've been sold a fantasy, a great hope, and that hope is Aaron Rodgers. And if Aaron Rodgers don't come, it's gonna be a sad, sad, sad day in Jets Nation. See these people behind me with the flag? MetLife probably won't even have that many people if we don't get Aaron Rodgers in it next season. Like I said, I want Aaron Rodgers before the draft. It would be a real sucker move if the Packers waited till during the draft or after the draft to send Rodgers this way so they can make some ludicrous demands. Like I said, they want all the draft picks we have this draft, next draft, give it to them. Because like I've always maintained, draft picks are exactly what they are. And you never know what they're going to be until they touch the field. Could be a bust. And they could be the best, greatest thing since sliced bread. I know we had 3 phenomenal rookies on the team in 2022. But again, with draft picks, you never know what they're going to turn into or how long the waiting game is for the investment of the pick until they touch the field. In some cases, some guys don't break out and become generational talents until maybe 2 to 4 to 5 years in the league. So I'm not hedging on the draft picks. They want a first rounder this year and next year. Give it to them if we're going to get Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers has been incredibly mum on the subject too. He's not talking. He other than that Pat McAfee interview, he hasn't said a peep since. So, like I said, folks, don't let this potential Aaron Rodgers acquisition that hasn't happened yet hold you hostage, guys. Hold your hopes hostage. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, I hate to be that guy and I hate to be the pessimist, but don't count your eggs until they hatch. Now, like I said, Aaron Rodgers, do I want him on the team? Yes, I do. Is he an absolute upgrade over Zach Wilson? Of course. And I honestly think that if Zach Wilson stays in the organization, we can revisit the Zach Wilson train once Rodgers retires, because Rodgers has probably only got maybe 2 to 3 good years left in him anyway. Keep Wilson, who we admitted for a fact, because the former offensive coordinator, Mike LaFleur, before he got fired, he said it, we messed up with Zach. He should have sat and learned instead of been out there playing. Maybe this is the opportunity to right the wrongs. Give Zach Wilson a chance to study Aaron Rodgers, who will be a first ballot Hall of Famer when it's all said and done. He's going to get a bust in Canton, and have him mentor Zach Wilson while he's still playing at an elite level. Maybe Zach Wilson could learn something so that when Rodgers is gone, we could turn the ship back over to Zach Wilson, and he could continue to lead us to the successes that Aaron Rodgers possibly can. That'd be the smart thing to do. And, just to have a third stringer, I'd draft a quarterback 4th or 5th round. But, folks, Rocket Fuel is back. I know we've taken a considerable amount of time off. However, I do thank everybody who's reached out, who has demanded that Rocket Fuel make a return in the off season. I will be here once a week, every week going forward. We're gonna have some NFL draft coverage in the next couple of weeks, and we're gonna do this thing right, man. And I thank everybody for being on this journey with me, allowing me to bring you Jets news and to share my opinions on everything New York Jets. And again, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter, RocketFuel_NYJ, and then the Grid Network, the Grid spelled GRYD _network on Instagram and Twitter. And again, support the Grid It's a great network of guys. We have everything for everybody. We have several other football podcasts. Of course, my guy Sports PSP with Commanders Demand about the Washington Commanders. We got the Cowboys Can Fam up in Canada. Of course, they talk about the Dallas Cowboys. And we have Ryan Flowers with Clutch Sports Talk, where he does a NFL show every Sunday. So definitely check that out. He covers the entire league. So we're football minded here. We are football geared up here on the grid. And I'm glad to bring Rocket Fuel to video so you guys could see my pretty face. Well, with that said, I'll see you guys next week. And I'll be on Aaron Rodgers watch. Jets, Jets, Jets.